Alright guys, just leaving Home Depot. Picked up my lumber for the day for the project. Rather would have sat at home and had another cup of coffee, but you know, you got to fight that mental battle every day. So I did it. I like to come at 6 a.m. when they open, nobody's here. So I'm going to go home, unload, and then I'll have that other cup of coffee. Think about what project I'm going to do. Alright guys, I'm ready to put this thing together. All it is 2 legs and 2 aprons for one end. Really easy. I got it oriented so the outside's facing down. I got all the good faces of the wood facing down. Just had to remember to put the 2 3/4 inch apron at top because that's the same width as the upper side stretchers, and the 3-inch apron on the bottom because that matches the width of the legs. What else? We got pocket holes, 4 on each apron, 2 on each end. As far as the bottom apron, you got to just figure out what look you like, how far up you want to have it. I'm going to go with 2 inches, and remember the bottom stretchers are 1.5 inches that the slats are going to go on, so it's going to have to go down 3/4 of an inch, so the slats will be even with the apron. So that's going to be a little bit lower look on the length of the table. That's the long side. And as far as the distance goes, see, that's why I had you pick up my app, because it doesn't matter whatever distance you want to go. All you got to do is measure the distance from the top of your apron to the bottom of that apron and the width, and it'll figure out the angle for you. So no big deal there. All right, I am going to use my square. I'm going to use this measuring tool and get a wider view for you guys while I clamp this together and show you how it goes. All right, guys, I'm going to do this first one in real time just to show you kind of the process. I won't do it on the second one, obviously, take up too much time in the video, but if I get to a point, I'll speed it up a little bit, but if I get to a point where I need to explain something, I'll slow it down in real time and let you guys go what I'm doing right now. I'm just getting the pocket hole screws in, getting them ready. Gonna do that on all 4, and then I'll glue the ends, and then I'll put it in its place, just temporarily until I can figure out the actual distance with my measuring tool. So like I said, I'm going to go 2 inches up. This can be a little tricky. I'm going to go ahead and glue this first. Put it up a couple inches. One of the things about using the glue is when you stain, you got to make sure all the glue is off, because the stain won't adhere to the wood with the glue on there. So I'm going to get my square and make sure we're all good with that. It's looking good on this side. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to tighten this up. So here's one end done. You can see it's pretty simple. Upper apron, lower apron. Pocket holes there, pocket holes on the bottom. Just repeat on the second side, and then we'll attach the two ends together. All right, I got the two ends done. I'm ready to connect the side stretchers, the upper stretchers. So I got it laid out here. This is pretty simple too. I'm just going to glue each end, put them together, use my clamp, and then put pocket holes in those. Pretty straightforward. Okay, I've got the table on its side. I've got the lower stretcher in the first one. Of course, pocket holes go to the bottom. And the next order of business is to make sure I line it up to where, remember, I have enough room to put my slat and have it even with the bottom apron. So I'm going to work on that and then put the other side together. Okay guys, I hope you can see by now it's not that difficult to put this table together. Pretty easy steps. My next move is to work on each end's cross bracing. Now I'm not going to go into detail in this video. I have an ultimate guide to cross bracing. I'll put a card up above. It goes detail by detail on how to get it. So looking at this end opening, my angles for each of the ends is going to be 17.3 degrees. Now, how can I tell that by looking just at the opening? Well, I can't. What I did was I measured the width, the height, the width of the board I'm going to use for the cross braces, I entered it into my app and it gave me 17.3 degrees. How handy is that? Now yours might be off a little bit because you might want your lower aprons higher or lower, and that's going to throw off the degrees. That's why I tell you, go pick up the app. All right, I'm going to get to work on these X ends, and I'll show you that now. All right, guys, got the X bracing done. 17.3 degrees is what it was. Look at that. Look at that nice, tight fit. 55.3 degrees for the intersection. I'm very proud of that. I would put that up for sale any day. These aren't attached yet. I'm going to stain them first, but they're just sitting in there. I wanted to make sure it was a good fit, and it was. So the next procedure is to stain everything, all the parts. I stain everything separately. And then, well, first I'll go over and check for sanding. I sand most of it beforehand just to get it out of the way, and then I'll check to see if any other spots need to be sanded. But pretty much put together. You just got to stain it and then put the slats on. That'll be the next step. All right, now I want to discuss the slat situation. So I used a 1x8, which came at 7¼ inches. I knew I wanted 4-inch width for my top slats, so I went ahead and ripped those, and that left me with 3 1/16 inch bottom slats because of the curve of the blade. Not all 1x8s come exactly 7¼ I've seen some either way, so just take that into account. I just went ahead and used the leftover because I wanted to make full use of that 1x8 board. All right, guys, the table's finished. All I got to do now is put some polyurethane on it and then get it ready to sell on Facebook Marketplace. I'll be staging and lighting. Staging. Not too bad. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just a few items you have laying around. It took me about a minute to set this up from the table over there. So I'm going to set up some lighting, get some good photos, put it on Facebook Marketplace. But most of all, I want you to go take action and build one yourself. Don't be afraid to mess around with the sizes, the colors. This is the first color combination on this table I've tried. I'm not afraid to try new things. I'll report back on how the sale went. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.